Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal, presented by members of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This show is for October 2014. I'm Mark Morriso. Also hosting the show today are the barely awake Calvin Watts III, Jay Kingston, and hippy dippy James Hinsey.
You know, I might be barely awake, but if legend and my memory, which fails me today, serves me correctly, this marks 18 years. 18 years that we've been doing this show. Can you believe it? And we're still friends. Oh, my goodness. What? We're not? Okay, gotta go.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Just
Continue.
do your job.
Anyways, yes, October, Halloween. I didn't have a Halloween costume, so I wore my funky hat. Mostly so you wouldn't see my bald spot when I duck down like this. But we always start off with movie news and a segment we like to call Popcorn Previews with Jay Kingston. Take it away, Jay.
All right, our first video or movie offering for this month is Seventh Son, which we have reviewed in the past.
Say that 5 times
So
fast.
we've got a brand new clip for it. So let's take a look.
I'm gonna leave this place soon.
I knew this day would come. Be wise, be careful.
Everything you ever need is inside you, my son.
I've been searching for you, Mr. Ward. You are the seventh son of a seventh son.
An order of noble knights combating the forces of darkness. It says here that there are 1,000 of you.
They've all died. We are all that's left.
Teach me.
You live in a world now where legend and nightmare are real.
What the hell is that?
Run! The devil is upon us. The signs of evil are everywhere.
Your queen has returned. The world of man shall fall.
If you see a witch, kill it.
We're not all evil, you know.
I can't do this. I'm not like you.
Join us.
Okay, that it looks like a very interesting movie to me.
It also means his mom and dad's been real busy.
Please, what did you guys think?
As a fantasy sword and sorcery film, looks awesome. And seeing Jeff Bridges in a different type of role like that, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, next we have The Book of Life. So let's take a look at that footage.
Follow me. You need to see something special. All the world is made of stories, and all of those stories are right here in the Book of Life. But the greatest story begins on the Day of the Dead. A day when spirits pass between worlds and anything can happen.
Ah, look there. Two best friends.
Oh, in love with the same girl. You two are acting like fools.
Wait, me too?
You picked yourself a feisty one.
How about a little wager? I bet that Maria will marry Joaquin.
Very well.
By the ancient rules. The wager is set.
Manolo, it's so beautiful.
I will lose the wager. Fix this for me, old friend.
I may not be the town hero, Maria, but I swear with all my heart, I will never stop loving you.
Snake! Manolo!
Where am I?
Welcome to the land of the remembered.
Don't try to take it all in at once.
And the story goes on. This is incredible.
Epic fiestas every day.
All you can eat churros.
My lady! Please help me reunite with the love of my life.
If you complete these tasks,
You will see Maria again.
Hey, girl. Get that a lot?
The Book of Life.
Hold it! I know exactly what to play!
You got what I need!
Wow, that totally captivated her.
And I'm kind of up in the air on this one. I really don't know what to think of it, to tell you the truth.
I like it. The animation looks great.
Yeah. But
I'm reserving
it's-
comment, so.
The story maybe.
I'm not going out on a limb and
Yeah.
saying it's going to do well or do bad, because we all know my history record on that.
Well, wait a minute. Either you're up in the air or you're on a limb. Make up your mind.
Well, I'm up in the air.
Next thing you're going to do is ride the fence.
I said I'm not going to go out on a limb.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't Box Trolls though also come out around the same?
Box Trolls comes out about the same time.
So yeah, it's
That looks like a
those
lot of
two
fun.
stories. Yeah, they'll be competing.
Yep, they'll be competing. Box Trolls is done by Leica Studios,
Mhm.
and they're the same
Yeah.
people who brought us James and the Giant Peach, I believe.
Yeah, Paranormal.
And Paranorman.
Norman, yep.
And it's interesting to me because it's a completely different kind of animation. It's all stop motion animation.
Yeah, I'm amazed at
And-
how long it takes to do like 3 seconds of.
And they turned it
shot.
out so fast.
Yep.
It's just they must be working on more than one film at once. You know, they've got to have some kind of a huge studio divided where they're working on this one and they're working on another one, and so. Anyway, we've shown the Box Trolls in the past.
Yes.
So we're not going to show that this month. But if you haven't seen it, where have you been?
That's right.
Okay. Last but not least, we've got the Penguins of Madagascar.
All
This is
right.
a good family film. It's going to be fun. The penguins are apparently recruited by an underground animal organization. And, of course, they're all a bunch of sociopaths.
Right.
So let's take a look at that footage.
Attention, this is your captain speaking.
You know the penguins of Madagascar, but what you don't know is they've been leading a double life as secret agents. Their untold story began as four brothers
Are you my family? You don't have a family, and we're all going to die. What?
What's the matter with you, Kowalski?
who grew up to become masters of disguise, espionage, and aerial assault.
Follow me, boys! We're going in hot. No one likes to show off, privates.
Now, when it comes to stopping a madman,
I have the power to destroy you.
they'll have some competition.
What the heck is going on?
Remain calm, penguins. You are now under the protection of the North Wind.
We don't even know who the heck you are.
The North Wind is an elite undercover interspecies. The North Wind is an elite undercover task force dedicated to helping animals who can't help themselves.
This November,
You got a soggy madman to stop.
I give the orders round here.
You were supposed to handcuff them.
But they don't have hands. They just have flippers. And I have flippers. So it's flipping useless.
When the world needs saving,
After them! All right, boys. It's just like Cuba. Venice, Rio de Janeiro, Dusseldorf.
We've arrived in the center of Dublin, Ireland.
We gotta blend in. Riverdance.
heroes
We don't need these guys.
become legends.
Penguins are our flesh and feathers. If anyone's gonna save us, it's us.
From the creators of Madagascar,
He hacked into our system.
Debbie.
Dave.
Dave.
Where's the sound?
Dave, your microphone, it's not
anything.
on.
Click on the button with the picture of the microphone.
Every time a villain calls in, this happens.
Hello? Hello?
Well, now we can
So
hear
annoying.
you, but we cannot see you.
Every time.
That's like talking to my parents.
DreamWorks Penguins of Madagascar.
We need to find intel on Dave's location. All right, you. Where's Dave? Give us the goods.
So that's a baby squid.
Sorry, laddie.
So, what did you guys think of that?
Cool. I liked Madagascar. I liked
Yeah,
the
I
regular
like the penguins, too.
yeah, the series
Yeah.
was cool. The TV series was
They're
cool.
crazy.
It looks funny.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
cool.
I
The
like
kids
all-
will like it at the very least.
Yeah, I like all the referential jokes, that we get.
Yeah, and it's nice to, I mean, we're coming into that time of year where the kids are going to have a film that they can go to with their
Right.
parents and
Yep.
enjoy it. And you got jokes for the parents, you got jokes for the kids, and everybody will be happy.
Right.
So,
Go see it in the matinee when it's cheaper. There you go.
that's what I've got for popcorn previews for this month. And now over to one of my favorite segments, Calvin Watts with Game Over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
And so we are now into October. And what does October mean?
It means the year is flying by.
It means
That's
the year
what
is
it
flying
means.
by and we're
Cool.
getting older. But it also means that for home video releases, a lot of the summer hits start coming out.
Ooh.
And we still have people, even to this day, that appreciate us getting this information out to them. So, of course, I have information for you.
Yay!
So, already out and available right now through various locations. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1.
Yep.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Excellent, excellent movie.
Yep.
Arrow Season 2. The 100, the first season, which did pretty well for the CW.
Yes, it did.
The Godzilla remake from earlier this summer.
Okay.
Or reboot, or whatever
The
you want to call
reboot,
it.
okay.
And I throw this out there, my opinion notwithstanding, Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Right. Did you like that one?
No, that was the worst movie this summer.
All right. Oh, well, I wasn't sure.
It's not
Okay.
even close.
You know what? I'm pretty much done with Transformers. I like the first one was good, and then the rest of them was like one blurry image of robots fighting another.
This
It's like,
was pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. All right. So starting out in October, on the 7th, we are going to have The Edge of Tomorrow,
Right.
which was much better than I thought it was going to be.
It was. Yeah,
Tom
it is
Cruise,
really good.
Groundhog Day type movie.
that was voted as one of the favorite summer movies. A lot of people said it was like a sleeper type hit.
Also, American Horror Story Season 3, which got very good reviews,
Yeah.
and it was pretty popular.
We got mice in the studio. Okay. All right.
And also Disney's latest Diamond Edition, really ultra spiffy release, and it just happens to be Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, I have to pick that up.
I throw that out there because Maleficent is coming out at some point.
Yep.
this
I
month,
like
too.
that movie. That was really well
Yeah,
done.
it was.
Yep.
The 14th is going to give us Fargo Season 1, and a cult favorite on Fox.
Right.
Mortal Kombat Legacy, which is the webisode series that continues the storylines, like set in its own Mortal Kombat universe. And then Days of Future Past, the X-Men movie.
Yep.
Still probably my favorite movie this summer.
You know what? I never got a chance to see that movie.
Oh, see it.
Yeah,
It was a
never
good
saw it.
movie.
You
yes.
got to see it.
And I heard they're working on the next one.
Yeah, Apocalypse, which they are working on
All right.
on and off as we speak. On the 21st, a couple of movies that were highly underrated and very well received by critics alike. Earth to Echo, which was one of those blink
Oh, that
and,
cute.
and you miss it.
My wife saw that with some of her niece and nephews over the summer. She said it was cute. It was like a modern version of E.T.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then Chris Evans' other summer movie, Snowpiercer.
I saw that one. I saw it on pay-per-view. I was going to go see it locally. They ran it in Providence area.
Yeah.
But I never got to the theater. But then I noticed it was on pay-per-view. We get Verizon, and I had one freebie movie coming, so that's how I watched it.
Was it good?
It was awesome.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So there's that. And last but not least, it wouldn't be Halloween without talking about a Halloween type movie. And this one is a definite cult classic. On the 28th, Nightbreed.
Oh, yeah. All right. Clive Barker's stuff.
Yeah. Yep, okay. Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Shout Factory, for those of you who may or may not know, is a specialty company which is dedicated to bringing out cult classic movies, mostly horror, but sometimes some fantasy and some other stuff. And they do the Criterion treatment. Extra interviews, they spiff it up with, really top-notch remastering, blah, blah, blah. And this time they turned their attention to Nightbreed. Early 90s, really cult classic stuff, and it's definitely worth picking up. They're going to have a regular edition and a limited edition with a bunch of extras. So.
Yeah, nice.
So on to gaming news, and let's see. I'll save the biggest piece of news for last, but it's pinball time, and we're going to talk about pinball, of course.
But it's always pinball time with you, Calvin.
It is always pinball time.
Every day is
pinball
time.
Pinball is making a comeback, and I'm going to make a point about pinball making a comeback right now. All right, let's start out with the Pinball Arcade. Now, I've been doing pretty much monthly updates as to what's going on. And last time we talked about the Addams Family Kickstarter, which started, as we're taping, in September. It started yesterday. So at the beginning of the month, you'll still have, yesterday was what, the 12th?
Yes.
So you'll have until October 12th if you want to go and participate. And that's at Kickstarter.com. It's very expensive. And if you go to pinballarcadefans.com, they have their latest podcast where they talk about what it actually took to get the licensing agreements to do to even get the chance to even make the table.
Right.
And you know what the funny thing is? We've talked for years about Raul Julia and supposedly how hard it is because they don't want his likeness or his stuff doing anything.
Yep.
That wasn't the issue.
Oh.
They've been working on this since the Pinball Arcade came into being. This is over 3 years. It was Paramount.
Oh, all right.
Paramount basically didn't think that this would be worth it to them to do anything, which is really kind of funny because when they used to be aligned with CBS, they didn't have an issue getting the licenses for the Twilight Zone and for Star Trek.
And Star Trek, yeah.
And so they were the ones that really held it up. And it's really, and I bring this up because I have other Pinball Arcade news, which is really cool. But so if you want the Addams Family, again, biggest pinball machine of all time, over 20,000 units made and sold, and hopefully it'll succeed and do really well. Now the latest game that just came out, which they also talked about in the podcast, was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is based on the 90s Gary Oldman movie. And a lot of people were wondering, because the licenses for some of this stuff is like really expensive. And a lot of the fans were wondering why they were able to do that without a Kickstarter. And it goes to how the different companies look at this, because they entered into an agreement with Sony Pictures to do like a bulk deal on like 3 or 4. They haven't said how many tables, but there's a bunch of tables either that Sony has directly or indirectly done. Now, Sony Pictures handles Sony, TriStar, and Columbia. That all falls under the Sony Pictures banner. So to give you an idea of some pinball tables that actually exist that could be part of the Pinball Arcade coming up, would include the very underrated Johnny Mnemonic. The movie with Keanu Reeves was so-so, but the pinball table has been rated like one of the best ever.
Wow.
Krull, 80s, very early sleeper hit. There's only 9 Krull pinball tables ever made.
Bring me my glaze.
Wow.
So,
I played one of them.
Yep.
So there's that. There's a one based on Starship Troopers, which was pretty fun.
Yep.
The Godzilla movie, which was really horrible back in the late 90s.
89?
But they had 98, I think.
Was it 98? Yeah.
97, something like that.
98, okay.
Anyways, but the pinball table.
The Matthew Broderick movie.
The Matthew Broderick one.
Okay.
But the pinball table based on that is really well done. And there's a couple other ones in there. So there's that. But not only that, they've also teased that the Pinball Arcade people, Sci-Fi Studios, have been talking about doing an original table. Well, it turns out it's going to be something in concert with Sony Pictures to do an original table. Now, there's a few things that they've released over the years that it could be. Men in Black would come to mind. They've also done the Underworld series. That is right? Underworld, the vampire thing.
Yeah. Kate Beckinsale.
That's right. So the Resident Evil was done by Sony Pictures, but there's also like Capcom thing. But the first thing that everybody jumped to mind that it's totally owned by Columbia/Sony, which would make perfect sense, which would be really, really cool, is Ghostbusters. There has never been a Ghostbusters pinball machine made.
No kidding.
I mean, there's been some that have been modified for like existing stuff, but not one ever put into like, manufacture for the masses.
Right.
So a lot of people are speculating that that's it. It would make the most sense. And
then tying in with the 30th anniversary and all that stuff.
All right. So more information on that as it comes, and it should be out on the Xbox platforms very soon. It's also out on Steam and iOS and PlayStation, and if you haven't tried it, you really should. And that leads us into more pinball news, but this is actually pretty cool.
All right.
Now, you've gone to gaming conventions and you've gone to comic conventions and gone to other stuff like that. But up until the pinball resurgence of like the past year and a half, 2 years, outside of maybe a couple of select areas, the only place where you could go and actually see a whole bunch of machines would be at like an expo. And so they have some pretty big ones around the country. They have like a really big one out in Chicago, and there's another one that's done in Texas. And then you got the Papa World Pinball headquarters in Pittsburgh, and they do meets a couple of times a year. And there's a really big one in Allentown, like in March or April. But there's never been anything here in New England on any of that scope until now. So, on July 10th and 11th, up in Sturbridge, Mass, which is, Central Mass, not too far from here, maybe a little over an hour away, the Pintastic New England 2015.
Interesting.
So it's going to be the first attempt of having a pinball expo of our own that we can call. They're going to have they want to have over 200 pinball machines available for play. And the Pinball Expo is kind of just like your regular, convention. There's going to be games, there's stuff to do. There'll be vendors there that'll be selling machines or parts of machines. And there's a whole, sub-market. There's, people up there that create, modifications to add to machines. There'll be guest speakers and interviews and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. It sounds like it's an awful lot of fun. Gabe and Derek from the Boston Pinball Association, they're the ones putting it together. I got to tell you, I'm pretty geeked about
excited?
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've gone to the pinball arcade up in New Hampshire, so there's maybe 100 machines out there at one point.
Right.
So if you take that whole section, made it all pinball machines, and threw a little bit more in, that's basically the scope that you're looking at. It's going to be huge.
So no arcade games, all pinball stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a couple of stuff, arcade games and stuff thrown in there because of the nature of what this is. But the majority of it's going to be pinball.
Good.
So we'll keep up on that as stuff goes on. And yes, we will be going and covering. So looking really forward to that. A couple of quick notes. I mean, we're into the meat of now of the video game release season. Dying Light.
Because Christmas is coming.
The survival horror game has been pushed back to January. So that'll be coming out then. That's from the makers of Dead Island.
Yep.
And Batman Arkham Knight comes out in June. And hopefully that holds because, get out of school in June, that'll be a perfect time to do it.
Right.
One last thing, there was this small, tiny game that came out this past week called Destiny. I don't know.
Destiny.
You might have heard of it.
Destiny.
$500 million in one day it sold.
No kidding. Wow.
One day. And it's worth it.
And it's not for the Wii.
No, not for the Wii.
Well, that's why I didn't buy it.
Not for the Wii U.
Oh, well.
Most other systems, though, and Bungie has hit a home run with this. It's a shooter / RPG with some Diablo elements and stuff mixed in. I can't say enough about this game. If you haven't tried it and you are a Halo fan or you're an RPG fan or anything like that, what are you waiting for?
Cool. Ian's playing it.
And he's shaking his head and he's smiling. So yeah, and he's absolutely right.
Personally, I'm waiting for Star Citizen to be released. That looks like a good game. It really does. Yeah.
So that's all I have.
Okay. Since that's the end of your segment, I just want to throw in one quick video review. It just was released, as we're taping, it was released about 2 weeks ago, and it's called Batman Assault on Arkham. It is not, and I repeat, not a kid's movie.
So I can't show it to my pre-K kids.
Wait a minute.
in school?
Are you saying Mark can't see it?
Like say, yeah, it's too sorry.
Mark wouldn't understand it, I don't
Wah,
think.
wah.
But anyway, it's gritty. It's everything that the Dark Knight should be.
So it's dark.
It's dark, and it's very, like I said, it's gritty, and it's Batman and the Joker and Harley Quinn and Deadshot and a host of other criminals thrown in for good measure. And it's just a very well-crafted, well-told story. And I highly, highly recommend it for anyone who's a DC fan.
Cool. Cool.
So.
Nice.
So now we're going to go on to Tube News with Mark.
That's me. All right, Tube News, here we go. It's October, and we have some TV shows that are premiering in October. And it seems like all on Monday nights.
I know.
Unless you have one of those fancy schmancy DVRs that records like 52 programs at the same time, you're pretty much screwed for Monday nights. Anyway, American Horror Story Freak Show starts on Wednesday, October 8th, 10 p.m. on FX. This one follows a troupe of carnival workers in Jupiter, Florida in 1952. So this is the fourth iteration of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
All right. Sarah Paulson, all the old cast is back. Kathy Bates, Sarah Paulson. Sarah Paulson plays a two-headed woman in this one. So we'll see if by the end of the show, which head gets nominated for an Emmy. So we'll see. We'll find out. The Walking Dead Season 5 is on Sunday, October 12th at 9 p.m. on AMC, followed by Season 4 of Comic Book Men at midnight. Had to think about that. What are you thinking about, Galvin? There's something going on in your brain.
Okay, look, all right, I'm awake now.
Okay.
Didn't you just say, oh, you had all this stuff about premiering and most of the stuff's on Monday nights, and the
Right.
first two things that you come up with, one's on Wednesday, one's on Sunday. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I know.
I'm just
No,
saying.
It's because
Because we've already talked about all the Monday night stuff, so that's why I'm doing something else.
yeah,
All
the Monday
right.
night stuff is happening right now.
Yeah, as we speak.
On Saturday.
On Saturdays. That's right. Okay. Oh, and if you want to confuse the audience even more, today is September 13th, which is the anniversary of Space 1999, when the moon supposedly blasted out of orbit.
Well, it's a good thing we're having that solar flare stuff.
Yeah,
like
no
right now.
kidding. Yeah. All right. Can
Let's
you say?
just hope it doesn't turn into a gamma burst.
That's right.
Because we'll never know what hit us anyway.
Let's
so.
say, let's hope it doesn't turn into a J burst, because that would be even worse. Okay.
Well, you will know what hit you then. Chris.
All right, The Legend of Korra, Book 4, Balance, will premiere Friday, October 3rd on Nick.com. New episodes will release every following Friday. Now, Season 3 was pulled off the Nickelodeon channel halfway through the season, and they put the rest of it online,
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
kind of goofy.
Right.
Why?
But it's an awesome story.
We don't know why. But Book 4, I guess, is the last book of the series.
Well, I suppose that's as
It's
far
the
as
final one.
they're
It's as far as
planned
they're gonna
out.
go with this one. So if you want to see The Legend of Korra, you can go to nick.com and watch the episodes
Yeah.
online.
I really wish they had done book 4 for the first series of, the last Airbender. So we would love to. Everyone would love to have seen another season of that.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
Right. So if you're a Korra fan, go to nick.com to check it out. TNT is looking to produce a live-action version of DC Comics' Teen Titans. Look for it to be a version similar to the George Perez Titans from the 1980s. At that time, that was DC's #1 book, but with Nightwing leading the team instead of Robin.
Right. So a little bit later on, I think it's more the adult type version, so
Right.
it won't really be teens. Maybe more like college age, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I really hope this gets picked up and that it's good.
I'm interested to see how they're going to pull off Cyborg and Raven and Starfire and all those dudes. So
Will they fly?
Will they fly? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it in the budget? That's what I want to know. Ascension begins November 24th at 9 p.m. on the Sci-Fi channel. It's a 6-hour event. The plot, in 1963, the U.S. sent hundreds of men, women, and children into deep space to populate a new world aboard the starship Ascension. Then someone gets murdered, and everything goes to pot. So it's a new sci-fi.
So it's actually the Starship Washington.
Yeah, exactly, because they can't get anything done.
No, because everything goes to pot.
Oh, smoke them while you got them. All right. And then finally, if you're looking for a new Star Trek series, a live-action Star Trek series that CBS is looking to produce in the future, don't look for it as a syndicated series or as a regular weekly TV series. Look for them to do something on HBO or Starz. That's how they're leaning towards creating a new Star Trek series.
Yeah, they're trying to go after the same model like Game of Thrones and the stuff that's on Showtime. I don't know if I like that because I'm sure they can go with more adult things.
Yeah, you can't even get it
more
Disney
adult
XD,
language,
so.
but that's not what Star Trek's about.
Right.
Really. You know, and it
Except
limits
when it comes to Kirk and the Green Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also limits their viewership to those that are subscribed to those pay channels.
Yeah.
Which nowhere near numbers what you get on a network television, channel.
No, but it's pay-per-view, so I guess there must be some more profit involved for them to be able to want to do it this way. Because they can do it like Netflix. Like right now, I'm watching Game of Thrones. I don't have HBO, so I'm catching up on Game of Thrones via Netflix, the DVDs. So that's probably what they want to do. They'll show it on HBO or Starz, and then anybody else who wants to do it's got to pay the moolah to be able to rent the DVDs and work it out with Netflix.
On the flip side of that, though, at least the whole season will get done, and it might not be canceled after 2 episodes because they don't like how it's trending or how the things are skewing. I mean, there are plus and minuses, and if you look at that Star Trek Axanar stuff that's being developed as kind of like a blueprint as to what some of the way the Star Trek franchise could be going.
Yep.
I mean, the potential's there.
And there's another series, and there's Star Trek Renegades, which is being produced also. They're working on that. That's a fan-based series, but
and so is Axanar fan-based.
Walter Koenig is in that one.
Yeah.
Guy who played Tim Russ, he's involved in there too.
But Axanar is fan-based too. It's just that they've been able to get actors that have been in various shows and stuff.
Tony Todd and Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica.
And Hertzler, who played Martok, 2 of the actors from BSG. But then you can look at all the other fan films too. Continues and Phase 2. Both have had actors from the original series, played parts, some reprising their parts. Like the actor who played Apollo in Star Trek Continues. He came back. They had Lou Ferrigno in another Star Trek Continues. They've had James Doohan, Chris Doohan, who plays Scotty's son, playing Scotty. Yeah. And he looks almost exactly like his father.
He's channeling his father through the show. Yeah.
It's really great. But they've also been able to incorporate storylines that were supposedly left over from the original series, strips that were written by D.C. Fontana or stories by David Gerald that were proposed way back in the 70s.
They never followed through.
But now they have.
Or they were proposed for that series that was supposed to be picked up in the late 70s. Remember, instead of that series, they did Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Right, that's Phase 2. That was called Phase 2.
Do they get to wear the pajamas? I like the pajama costumes.
Now, there were rumors that they were going to do red shirts, right?
Yeah.
For TNT.
They're still working on it.
The ideas, for this new series on whatever pay channel, it could be a limited 10-episode thing. They could really ramp up the drama.
Yep. They've got the budget for it, which is even better.
Yeah.
They'll do a good job. All right, cool.
We'll have to see.
Yep, that's decent. They're also having there's a company called Loot Crate. They give you sign up for a monthly subscription. They send you all sorts of neat stuff. They've just produced a short film based on the Firefly universe. It's a different ship and crew.
Yeah.
And you can go online and check that out. If you go to lootcrate.com, they'll have a link that you can watch that as well, which is pretty cool. Who's not smiling? He's smiling? What are you talking about? Oh, now he is. Okay. All right. Oh, and before I forget, as we tape, we just finished Can't Stop the Serenity Providence 2014, which took place at the Columbus Theater on September 6th in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yep.
James was there and Kat was there, and if you weren't there, why not? It was a lot of fun. Because I live in North Dakota, I'm watching the show over there. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. They raised like $331 for Equality Now, Joss Whedon's charity. And Rhode Island Science Fiction Club was there that night. We collected 145 pounds of food for the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. So thank you, everyone who's watching the show. Thank you for showing up and donating. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. All right, let's move on to the wonderful world of anime with a segment we call Anime Daisuki. Go, James, go.
I first want to talk about, our show is now airing in about 30-some communities around the country, right? And we do this not through like a syndication thing, but through a website that we can upload our show. And then these public access stations, community access television stations, can download the show and have it on for their viewers in their area.
Now, I have a question.
Yes.
If they download our show and they repeat it over and over and over again,
yes,
can we get syndication residuals?
No, because this is nonprofit, non-commercial, public access.
I tried. Right? I got to send her to college, so, you know.
I know, but we don't get paid anything, and nobody gets paid anything for doing the show. But it does cost some money. But some of the towns that are brand new, this past August into September, Medfield, Massachusetts, right, has just downloaded the show. We're on in Carson City, Nevada now, which is right near, it's on the shores of Lake Tahoe, near Reno.
The capital.
Yep. Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is near Dayton, Ohio. Jefferson City, Missouri, which is right snap dab in the middle of Missouri, just south of Columbia. In North Carolina, we've been up in the western corner of North Carolina for several years, but Lee County, Harnett County, and Chatham County, which is just south and west of Raleigh, have downloaded the show now. Rialto, California, which is next to San Bernardino. And hi to Drexel University students and Philadelphia. In fact, pretty much all of Philadelphia, because of Drexel University, maintains and runs their public access channel.
Wow.
So,
oh, that's neat. So
right, and that's just
public access runs out
August,
of college?
New downloaders. And back in June and May, we had 2 from Texas, Bastrop, Texas, Cleveland, Texas, Enid, Oklahoma, and Troy University in right in Troy, Alabama, or Montgomery, Alabama area.
Well, I thought you were going to say Michigan. All right.
Alabama. They cover an area in that area of Alabama and western Georgia. So, hey to all new viewers. We also have some shout outs for a couple of viewers. Jay down in Denham Springs, Louisiana, which is part of the Florida parishes of Louisiana. Rob McKim over in Little Compton, and Wiley Mitchell, who has been a member of the club before.
Yep.
He lives in Warwick. Hey, thanks for watching the show. But like I said, some of this does cost a little bit of money for these downloads, and we have a little donation button on our website. Just a couple dollars can help provide cover the fees that we have, so that these stations can download for free. So it's been coming out of our own pockets for the last couple of years, and if we could download to 100 cities and towns across the country, that would be great, but that would cost a lot more. So, but if anyone, just even one person from each community would donate a little bit, that would cover your community, and for a whole year, say like 12 months. That's the thing we're putting out right now, is just asking if we could have some help with that.
So if Bill and Melinda Gates are watching,
yeah,
push that donate button, because we are educational.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, educational. If they're using it at Drexler and other places as part of their curriculum, and
they could, yes.
Hello, okay.
Because they do have students that get involved with television production, you know, and other communities too. Who knows? Maybe we'll have we can get some correspondence.
We can have internet
people,
pen pals.
That, or people can do a story in their local area and send it to us.
All right.
Put it on the show. All right. Now, on to anime news. In Chiba Prefecture near Tokyo, there's been sightings of a Batman driving around on a 3-wheeled bat pod. They named him Chi Batman, and one of the TV Asahi Good Morning Show hosts was able to get an interview with him, and it turns out this guy dressed in like the full Batman costume, the Christopher Nolan Batman version costume, is driving around city, and he just wants to see the smiles on people's faces as he's driving around. He's not looking for any money. He hasn't done any kind of appearances or anything like that, even though he's been called by TV shows and newspapers and things like that.
It turns out it was Matches Malone.
No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know.
We should explain who Matches Malone is.
Matches is a local Batman here in New England.
Yeah.
He goes to the conventions. You'll see him. He and his girlfriend Kano. She's usually has Poison Ivy and stuff like that.
He's got a great costume. He's a nice guy.
He's nice, really nice guy. He's just about the best Batman that we've got around here.
Yep. So. But even this Batman too kind of does the same kind of voice, but it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
なんでこういった格好されてらっしゃるんですか。
みんなの笑顔見たいがために。
いつ頃からやってらっしゃるんですか。
3年くらい前ですかね。
3年くらい前。
But he's out there just wanting to see. He's been interviewed by the police to make sure everything was okay. His motorcycle is custom built that he did himself from parts that he had to order online. Probably except for the engine, everything he did put together.
So he's having fun dressed up as Batman and running around Japan. All right, cool.
So a young man wearing a Pikachu hat and carrying a Pikachu plushie jumped over the White House fence, causing the White House to do a lockdown this past week. And they were able to subdue him and take him into custody.
And what did he say when he was arrested?
Pika pika!
Oh, that was too easy. That was a softball. Out of the park. All right.
But we'll have to see. They didn't identify him yet, and maybe he was just
identify him. What else?
Bringing a present for the president, or his daughters or something, But don't do that.
No.
So where was Team Rocket?
Yeah, they were at the Congress, I guess. Yeah. In Quincy, Massachusetts, a young man with his Maserati, custom painted to look like a transformer, was recently pulled over by police and accused of imitating a police officer. But he hasn't done anything to impersonate actually a police officer, like pulling people over or saying that he's a police officer or anything like that. And the judge sided with him and threw out the case.
Well, he had a car decorated like a police.
Like the transformer, black and white transformer.
Right.
Is a Maserati, which is a very expensive car.
Yeah.
But I guess every once in a while he repaints it with a new paint job, and this time it happened to be looks like a police cruiser. So he said he'd probably leave it in that paint job for another month or two and then change it again. But that was really interesting, though. And let's see.
You get all sorts of weirdos this month, don't you?
Oh, I know. In Japan, Rurouni Kenshin live-action film is the biggest, highest-grossing Japanese live-action film for 2014 so far. It came out at the beginning of August, and as of we're shooting, it's earned over $42 million in US dollars. Yeah, 4.5 billion yen. Now that was Rurouni Kenshin Kyoto Taikahen, which is Tokyo Inferno. But coming out at the end of September is the next one, Rurouni Kenshin Densetsu no Saigohen, The Legend Ends. Now,
why do I feel like I need Google Translator for this?
So
segment?
anyway,
James.
learn. You're learning Japanese.
I know.
Just
I know.
listen
It's
to
pretty
me.
cool.
So it turns out, so this sequel, or this other film, may actually outdo the first one. So.
Or it may not.
Oh, may not.
I expect it to, pull in the same numbers.
Okay.
Next, they had a screening for one of the Pat Labor movies. Mamoru Oshii, who did created Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that.
Yep.
He interviewed Ghibli studio co-founder Toshio Suzuki, who's been the producer of many of the films there from Ghibli Studios, about what they're doing with Ghibli Studios. There's rumors that it's going to close or things like that. Hayao Miyazaki is retiring. And it says Suzuki said they're going to restructure. He didn't say anything about firing everybody. He said they're not going to let everybody go, but they may, I suppose, let some of them go.
So they're having some tough times at Studio Ghibli?
Yeah, he talked about other studios around Asia that are doing excellent work. So there may be some animation they're going to be farming out like that. They may do series, work on some series instead of movies. And they also have a new director at Ghibli Studios. Let's see, where is it?
Somewhere on your script.
Yeah, Hideaki Anno. Hideaki Anno was the director for Evangelion, or Evangelion.
Right.
And he's taken over, and who knows what kind of films he'll be doing. There's talk of maybe a sequel to Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, but if Anno directs that, it may be much darker style than the previous one.
Yep.
Anno did recently do this Giant God Warriors film that was like a short film, and he worked with Studio Ghibli animators on it, and it looks really cool. It kind of is goes back to the origins of Nausicaa, where the giant warriors got up and destroyed the cities and stuff. So it was like that. So we'll have to see what happens. But hopefully Ghibli will still continue. Everybody loves them. But
maybe they'll have to focus on just online stuff instead.
Well, no, it's just they just need to redirect their focus.
Reorganize.
And the last thing I have, Christopher McQuarrie, who was the director for the Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, World War Z. He is now lined up to direct Star Blazers.
All right.
Yes, the new Star Blazers movie, expected maybe 2017 or 2018.
Didn't they just redo that? It was a couple of years
That's
ago.
the animation, though.
animation.
And the live action, that's
The
from
live
Japan,
action. Oh, that's
not
from
an American
Japan.
version.
So they're going to do an American
An
version?
American version.
of
Christopher
Star Blazers.
McQuarrie, yep.
Yeah, but the Japanese version was pretty awesome. Why
Yeah.
don't they need to redo an American version? Because they want to screw it up. That's
No,
all.
because they want to change the names to what they had in Star Blazers.
all
Derek
right.
Wildstar and all that.
And the Argo.
Yeah,
Argo.
but I don't know. This is one case, at least for me. Don't Americanize it. They're just leave it the way it
No,
is.
but there's also talk that they may incorporate, Japanese actors as
Okay.
some of the characters.
Well, they darn well
so,
better.
right.
They should.
Two of the characters that McQuarrie really likes was Captain Okita, who was Captain Avatar in the Star Blazers,
Yep.
and the Earth Defense Force Commander Hajime Saito. So I mean, there's he's got an interest in it. Skydance is producing, and also the adopted son of Shoji. Of Yoshinobu Nishizaki, who was the producer of the Yamato series way back in the 70s and 80s and stuff. His son is going to be also listed as a producer. So that's it, really.
Thank
For
God.
anime, the fall Quidditch season started. There's tournaments in September and October. The Northeast Classic, which will be up in Boston area, will be right in the middle of October or so. And the Northeast Regionals in November.
Has Quidditch turned into more of a fall sport
No,
they play all year. They play all year.
Yeah, they play. They have fantasy tournaments during summer
Yep.
in all the regions. They have spring tournaments. Then the World Cup is in the spring. So I mean, part of the reason why they're ramping up, mostly because it's a college schedule.
Oh, I was saying. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they're trying to get their games in so they can qualify
Those
for
crazy college students
for the
and their
regionals,
Quidditch. Yeah.
and stuff like that. And the SNEXI, the Southern New England Quidditch Conference, is trying to set up some schedules too.
Very nice.
So, go check it out. I just played some yesterday.
I know. And you
My legs are sore.
And you're uninjured too.
Yeah.
Oof. I still think if you run around with a broomstick between your legs, you take your chances. But anyway.
Is that it? It's PVC pipe now.
I know. Oh, yeah, that makes it much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, thank you. All right, now it's time for, ready, Jay? Toys, props, and other
stuff, man.
Where our
So
wonderful
mellow.
camera people points to the wonderful world of science fiction collectibles, and we speaks about them. All right, go, Calvin, go.
To your left, you have Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Still, for my money, the best genre movie to come out so far this year.
Is that the pure Blu-ray version that you've got there?
That
Or?
is the Blu-ray 3D,
Oh, the
and
whole-
digital copy. I got a really, really good deal on it. Plus, anyways, definitely worth it. A lot of extras, a lot of fun.
Nice.
Next to that, the Xbox One version, limited edition of Destiny. It'll cost a little bit more, but you get a discount with the season passes and whatnot. And there's a little booklet inside with a bunch of little extras and stuff. So to me, it was worth it.
Nice.
A lot of fun. Next to that, we have a Clive Barker book, The
Oh.
Great and Secret Show. Now, Clive Barker, one of the best horror genre writers.
And we just mentioned him too earlier.
We just mentioned him. He did Nightbreed.
Yep.
He did Cabal, which is what Nightbreed is based on.
Right.
So I'm sure that is an excellent book.
Oh, next we have Cthulhu book, representation of Cthulhu's. Movie, TV shows, and gamings in the Cthulhu world. H.P. Lovecraft, a local dude. All right. In between that, we have Shadowrun, Fire and Frost. That's the first Shadowrun novel that's come out in almost 10 years. Now they have Shadowrun Online. And Harebrained Schemes is the company that's running that one. And then, Calvin, you want to talk about DC Comics figure?
One of the newest DC Comics ventures is that they're taking, specific artists and they're who've done like a lot of work in the DC universe and taken their interpretation of different characters and making them into figures.
Right.
Greg Capullo, or Capullo, I think it's Capullo, but I'm not positive how you pronounce it. But anyways, he's a very prolific artist, and they've decided to do a run of figures based on his interpretation of those characters. And that one happens to be Nightwing.
Very nice.
They've had one set come out so far. There's a second set coming out because it was popular enough to do. And it's a very cool figure.
Cool. All right. Go ahead, Jay.
Martian Manhunter minifigure given to me by my son Justin as a late birthday present.
Yep.
I love the maquettes, the mini statues, and this one is particularly well done.
Yeah, those are cool because you can enjoy your comic book characters, but they don't take up a whole lot of room.
Nope.
Which is nice. Okay. All right. If you want to get in touch with us, we have a website. It's www.risfc.org. Check out our website for information on club meetings and how you can get in touch with us with Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Any last shout outs or last words or anything anybody wants to bring up?
Look for us at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yep, we'll be there in November.
Rhode Island Comic Con.
Okay, anything else?
Yep, if you want to check out the pinball stuff we talked about early in the show, you go to pinballarcade.com or pinballarcadefans.com, and the Pintastic New England Expo, the pintasticnewengland.com for more information.
Yep, all right, that's good. Now, it's October, which means you celebrate Halloween. If you celebrate Halloween, please be safe and all that good stuff. I didn't have a chance to go out and really get some cool Halloween stuff for these guys, so I got them probably the greatest invention ever made in civilization. You each got a spork. So there's one for you and one for you. Enjoy. Happy Halloween. Okay, that's going to be it for this month.
It's a little bat symbol.
On Sci-Fi Journal. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in November.
Can we cut his heart out with it? I know where they came from.